folks along the road, just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gathering along the Scotswood Road to see the bleeding races. We went to bleeding races.
Oh, it's back through Bartes!
1862 on a summer's afternoon, we took the bus from Bambras and she was heavy laden. Where we went along Callum Street, that's on the road to Bladen. Whoa, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all with smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road to see the Bladen races.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to another show. John Sinclair TV back again, and Monday evening, well, Tuesday evening. It should have been the Premier League roundup show, and I need to, but there's just no games coming up this weekend. I've got Tony and I've got Brad. Good evening to you guys.
Hi, John. Hi, Brad. All right.
How we doing?
Big champion. How are we doing? You good?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Before we go on to the show, guys, if you're new to the channel, you like what you see, then give it a like. Have to hit the subscribe button as well. If you like to super chat, then click on the $sign. And if you'd like to become a member, then just click in the join button. So 99p, the links are in there as well. And let's go on to a few comments flying through the roof. Big up to Tom, even to you, mate, even to Leslie, even to Andrew. I agree, fierce on moving these to place. And Miggy does lack end product, but still used as a squad player. But now, given that, it's still going to take a couple of years to overhaul. And yeah, I can see where Tom's come from on that one. And big up to Jack and big up to Jenk. It's also been quite on the football fun today, but that doesn't stop us from doing a live stream. Big up to Andrew B. Got to get ideal winger that plays first on the right, but can fill in on the left if you're short. Diaby is a great shot, but I will be happy with Trossard. And big up to Chrissy B as well. Hi to you, Chris. So, what's that noise? Is that a noise there somewhere, please?
That's an aeroplane crossing over the top.
Oh, brilliant. Not a problem. That's fair. That's much better. Much better. Right, we're going to talk about tonight, guys. For people who are just joining, we're going to talk about the wingers crisis. And I'm really sorry going to talk about the wingers crisis because the 3 players we're going to talk about, for me personally, are simply not good enough to take our club level moving forward. Yes, there's one player I'd definitely keep as a squad player. I'll go with Tom as well. And big up to Gareth, even to you, Gareth. Hope you're okay, mate. I hope you're having a fantastic day with your wifey as well. First of all, we're going to talk about Miggy Almiron, right? And look, he's joined the club, right, since 2018, right, for 22 million quid, right? And since he's been at the club, right, his appearances, so 117 appearances, 10 goals scored. That's an average of 25 a game. It took him nearly a year to score his first score, by the way, right? And the assist charts in his time at Newcastle, 3 assists, Tony, yeah? Just remember that, 3 assists, yeah, in his time at Newcastle United, yeah? I know people's going to say, like, he works hard, he's got all the passion. Listen, he's got energy, we know that. He works hard, we know that, yeah? He's a likeable lad, we know that, right? But being a likeable lad and having a smiley face ain't going to get us to the top 4, ain't going to get to win you a trophy or title in the future years, yeah? He's had so many time, plenty of chances, plenty of time to shine, be getting 10 goals a season, be our player of the season, yeah? And getting can move to a bigger club, right? Let's be real. I mean, Tony, talk to him, man. I mean, I like Miggy, but what are we going to do with him, man? And also, as well, he's too predictable. Everyone knows what he's got a left foot, and that's it.
Yeah, John. I mean, he's not had the greatest of times, to be honest with you. I mean, he's had all this time here to prove himself, and we still don't seem to be getting the best out of him. I know the MLS is a different league altogether. It's totally different compared to what the Premier League is. But, you know, I mean, I don't like to criticize players, but unfortunately, he's just not doing it. But then can Eddie not transfer him to the left and try him on the left-hand side where he can swing crosses in with his left foot. Because on the right, he's just not cutting it. You know, some left-footed players can play right wing and they use their left foot to swing the crosses in. But Miggy just doesn't seem to be doing that. And I just really don't know what's gone wrong with him. But, you know, like you say, he's been here for 4 years now. Okay, we could see under Bruce, he was probably bruised because he didn't play an awful lot under Steve Bruce, did he? But, I mean, you know, you just go back to last season, John. You look at that goal against Crystal Palace, you know, Bruno's assist, Almiron on the right, he cuts in, gets into the box, boom, fires the ball in with his left foot. We know he can do it. He done it against Palace. That was a great goal. But the problem is, he doesn't do it on a regular basis. He just does it in flashes. And it's no good having it in flashes. We need it regular. You've got to be consistent regular, you know?
Every week.
And if you're not consistent enough, then the problem is you're just going to lack confidence every time. And I just wonder if he's lacking confidence as well. You know, I know he was annoyed at coming off against Palace. But, and to come on with Jacob Murphy, you know, it's just, really, it's no comparison. But I just don't know where it's all gone wrong for Miggy Almiron. Is it because you look and think, well, have any of our managers actually played him in his correct position as a number 10? You know, I mean, I remember I think his first game, I think he played against Huddersfield under Rafa. And he had a chance in that game to score and he missed it. But yeah, but he showed in that game, and I thought, after seeing him in that game, I thought, well, hang on a minute, we've got a player on our hands here. This lad looks a bloody good player. So, you know, and I thought, oh, well, great things may come out of him, you know, once he gets up to speed with the Premier League, you know. But it just didn't seem to happen. No, that's the problem, John, and it hasn't happened. I just, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know where we go on this with Miggy because, as I say, I don't like to criticise players, but sometimes you have to be harsh with players. Sometimes you've got to criticise them because if they're not good enough, then you have to see it as it is. Football's all about opinions at the end of the day. And I know some people might say, oh, well, you know, can't keep criticising Miggy. But we can't also keep backing him either, because the more you back him, and the more you look silly, because people then say to you, well, why do you keep backing this guy? He's not very good. So, you know, it's a bit of cat and mouse sort of thing. But at the end of the day, you know, the guys had plenty of chances in pre-season. He was absolutely smashing it. I mean, not only again. I mean, I know he played against Gateshead and things like that, John. But against Benfica, he scored, and he looked really good against Benfica. But as soon as the Premier League started, he just doesn't seem to have been there, and I just don't know what's wrong with that. Is he not Premier League quality? That's the thing, John. You know, we know he's got it in his locker. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But why is he not showing it? But then you see him going. He goes off to Paraguay to play for them in the international games. He looks a different player altogether. He looks an absolute beast in the midfield, because I think they play him in his proper position of the number 10 role rather than playing him on the wings. So I just don't know. But maybe we don't have a system where he could play as a number 10, because Eddie seems to keep with one system, and I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, John or Brad, of what I've just said, but I just, like I say, I just don't know. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, his best position is number 10, the way he played when he played for Atlanta United. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just think.
What do you think?
I think that, like, some of the goals he's scored in pre-season, other goals you see him, he's in and around the box more, and I'm guessing, you know, that's most likely because of the opposition we're playing and the freedom of there being more pre-season fixtures. But when it comes to the Premier League, you know, it's tight. It's very, very, very tactical. You're playing against good defensive teams. You know, he can't get himself in them positions. So he's stuck out wide, and he's not got that. Unfortunately, being one-footed, he's not got that creativity to be able to like. He's quite become too predictable, really. So, but no, I think if he was to play more centrally, he's got that. He's got that flexibility of going to either side, and he can showcase a bit more what he can do. But I think being in that position that he's in, and the way the defenses are, and the quality of the Premier League just getting better and better and better, he's just going to get left. They're just players that aren't good enough are just getting left behind, and he's essentially he can't really put his stamp on the game because he's out wide, and then if people show him inside, the defenders know that he's not going to take it. He's not going being on the right hand side. He's not going to take it out wide because that obviously that will put him onto his right foot. He's always looking to come back inside, or if they don't let him inside, he comes backwards, and then it completely stops the play. So that's sort of, if we could have someone more versatile in that position, then obviously that will benefit us. But there's not really anywhere. Unfortunately, we can't have him in that number 10 position because that's just not the way we go. That's just not the way we want to play at the minute. But I think if he was to be in that position and he got more central, he got the ball in them areas, he probably could do something. I'd back him to be pretty decent in that position, but that's just not an option for us at the minute. So unfortunately, he's struggling, and next year, 18 months, he could find himself out the club. Unfortunately, and for Murphy, I mean, give the guy his due. He's been okay for us in last couple of years, but like I said, the Premier League the quality of the Premier League is getting better and better, and unfortunately, he's just getting left behind. He's not at that level at all. No disrespect, but he's just not got that spark and that creativity to be able to challenge defenses, which you need to have. So, unfortunately, we've got to upgrade in them positions. And I know the squad players, but we've got to get better squad players and the ones that are able to fight and put people like ASM under pressure. And we've got like Wilson, Isak, players like that. We want other players coming in that can challenge and give them trouble. But that right wing position, we haven't got anything for that at the minute. Got Miggy, who's obviously not producing, and then we've got Murphy, and that's it. So we need someone top draw in that position for a start, and then can we bring in a sort of younger player, someone with a bit of hunger, desire to drive at defenders, and give that's what it's all about, competition. And you've got to have health. You've got to have the players waiting in the wings to say, I'm gonna take your spot, and I want to be in there. So to get to the level we want to be, like top 6, top 8 side, you've got to have that in your squad, or you're really struggling. So yeah.
I have to agree with you there, Brad. Absolutely agree. I mean, it's I wouldn't say difficult one, but someone ain't right there on that position. That is a problem position. That's a big problem there. And the thing is, though, as well, we've done 200 million quid, right? 200 million odd quid, right? And we still got players like Fraser, Murphy, and to a point Miggy in the team. He's still going to play for our club. That needs to be worked out very, very soon. Because we're going to get, like I said, I want to get into Europe. I want to be in the top 4. I want to be challenging for the titles in future years. But the guys are going to talk about the need. They're just not going to get there at all, man. They're not. They're not. Tony.
Yeah, I'm going to put up a stat a minute, John. I'm just going to show something here. Okay, on Miggy Almiron. And then, and the thing is, John, this is through the years. So it should be coming up now. There we go. So, right. So this is back on his first season at Newcastle when he came in the January transfer window under Rafa.
Yeah.
Right. So according to this, he can play midfield, right, centre, left wing, right wing, attacking midfield, and striker. Okay. So predominantly he can play 7 positions there.
Yeah.
Now look at his heat map here from the first 10 games he played, 9 games that he actually started. Yeah. So on here he's played predominantly left here, John. So you can see where he's played left wing, and then he's played a little bit there, very little on the right. Yeah. Okay. So that's that season under Rafa Benitez. And that after that season, I think Benitez went, didn't he? Because we got Mr. Cabbage in. So under Steve Bruce, he played 35 out of 36 games, scored 4 goals and 2 assists. Again, he played so much on the right there, but he plays on the left as well. But he's been all over the pitch here, as you can see with his heat map. So a lot different to what it was under Rafa Benitez. So that was that season. So that's your 1920 season. Then you go to 2021 again under Steve Bruce. This time, he plays more left than he's playing right. You see what I mean? Because there's a lot of red areas in that left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he played 28 out of 34 that he started.
Yeah.
And he scored 4 and 1 assist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So his goal scoring sort of went down a little bit that season. Then we go 21-22, which is last season. Now we played a little bit left, but then when Eddie Howe came in, he played more on the right, yeah. So as you can see, the heat map's totally opposite from what it was 18-19 under Rafa Benitez.
Yeah.
So that was last season. He started 19 out of 30 games played, and he got 1 goal and no assists.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously his long balls weren't very good either. So that's then. And then we come up to this current season now, John.
Yeah.
And again, all on the right for Eddie Howe. Very rarely he's been on the left. A little bit, but apart from that, it's mostly on the right. And he's played 7 games. He's got 1 goal. That was against Manchester City.
Yeah.
But to me, if you look at that, like I say, he's on the right there predominantly now. But then we go back to his 18-19 season under Benitez. He looks more accomplished if he's playing on the left. I don't know what you think of that, John, but and then I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just delve back into his stats at the MLS.
Yeah.
So again, on the MLS, he played on the left.
Yeah.
And that was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And he scored 37. He played 37 games, scored 13 goals and 11 assists. Now, the MLS is a totally different league, John.
Okay.
That is a totally different level of football. Because, I mean, he's getting 13 goals and 11 assists out of 37 games. That's nearly a Premier League season, John. And, I don't think you'll ever get that here. And then 2017, again, there's his heat map. More on the left than he is even on the right. And again, 28 games started out with 31, 9 goals, 8 assists. So you can see there, that's mostly his area where it operates. So if we took him from here and put him on the left, we might see a better player, a different player. But until he gets that chance under Eddie Howe, and I don't know why Eddie hasn't looked at all this. Maybe he looks at different stats. We don't know what Eddie Howe looks at. And I'm not criticising Eddie Howe for 1 minute before anybody thinks I am. But I'm just wondering, he plays more on the left. So why are we continuing to play him on the right if he's better suited on the left? And we'll just look at his World Cup qualifying. And you can see for Paraguay, again, he's playing more on the left than he is on the right. And that's in World Cup qualifying. And then we'll just look at the Copa America as well. Didn't do a lot there, but played 4 games. But again, mostly left, very rarely on the right. So looking at those stats there, John, he's more of a left-sided player than he is a right-sided player. And maybe we need to start switching of flanks and just put him on the right and the left rather than on the right, because it's quite obvious he's struggling. If we put on the left, he may thrive, John, and then we may have a player in our hands, but we won't know until Eddie actually sort of stands up and says, do you know what, I'm going to try you on the left-hand side.
I have to agree, Tolly. Brilliant analyst there, mate. Absolutely brilliant. And you know what? I think maybe it's just maybe that time he needs to be playing on the left if he is going to play. So hopefully Eddie might see that one day. Who knows? But he's definitely not a right side player for me. No way. Thank you for that, Tony. Ala Coffee said that Trippier came up and Kraft came in and Kraft improved. And you're saying Miggy needs to new sign to give him competition. Brand said, Bandar said Fraser Murphy championship level. Almiron's hard work, but no finish. Nothing personal, but we need better. We need an upgrade on Miron, Murphy, and Richie. We're also in need of something in the middle of the park with Big Joe and Bruno. Andrew saying Mike was a 10 before he came here, but he played there. His numbers are better. Get even to Davey. If I was being subbed off for Murphy, I'll be angry too. I think he would. Beer fighting, big up to you. Brad lost your glasses. I've always found mine stand back a sofa. Big up. Big up to Leslie. Disappointed with weekend, but it's not the end of the world. However, I'm no longer attached to players because of their Geordies or love the club. In Eddie we trust. Got off with Mila. He's a big Watford fan. Big up to you, mate. I'm sorry that we couldn't beat Sunderland for you. He's very close, very close. We'll talk for a quick score next time. You come a new one. Big up to Clone Lad. Hope you're okay, mate. For Paraguay, he played as attacking midfielder. With all the talk of wingers coming in, maybe it's affecting Miggy's confidence. We want better players. I mean, I'm starting to think I may as well sit to be on the striker. Lee, I'll come to your way of thinking, mate. Can how work a new formation instead of 4-3-3, Tony?
Well, he can do, John. You know, he can do it. I mean, you know, when obviously there's talk now that Wilson will be fit for the Fulham game after the international break, as will probably ASM. So, you know, what's to say he doesn't change it and say, right, I'll tell you what, let's have a 4-4-2. Let's put Wilson and Isak up front and play two wingers and two midfielders in the middle. So, like, you'd have probably Joe Linton and Bruno in the middle. You know, and if Maxi's back, play Maxi on the right with Trippier, because he's done it before and he's all right on the right-hand side. And then stick Almiron on the left and give him a go. The only way you're going to find out if he's good enough on the left is giving him a go. But if, you know, and as I go back to that heat map, if you look back at 18-19, that's where he played under Rafa on the left-hand side. So, and I'm not saying that he's not a great coach, because I'm saying that he is a brilliant manager. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Eddie Howe. But if he just done that tactical switch, give him a try. All you can do is try. If he fails, then obviously he's not good enough at all. But you would never know unless you give him that go on the left-hand side. You know, as I said before, some wingers who are left-footed and play on the right wing are great with it, like a Moussa Diaby, for instance, you know, who can play with their left foot and swing the crosses in. But Almiron just doesn't seem to have that confidence. So, you know, and most of his games for Paraguay is more on the left and in attacking midfield. So, you know, that's where we need to try him. And it wouldn't hurt to push him on the left, you know. And, you know, like I say, ESM's played down the right with Trippier's before. So I'm sure with Trippier, he'd be all right. ESM on the right-hand side. He can still cut in. But like I say, we'll never know unless Eddie actually changes it. And that's the problem. Well, Eddie Howe seems to be stuck in his... He's not like stuck in his ways too much, but he seems to be stuck on one thing. And then it's like he just doesn't want to swap people about. So I don't know. I would like to see Eddie put him on the left and give him a try, because who knows? He could turn out to save us a hell of a lot of money if he goes on the left-hand side and starts playing well, you know. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. We see what he does. He might play on the left-hand side against Palace. The cup, you just never know. Christopher Davis, big up to you, Christopher. Not for related, but I thought I'd mention how brilliant Manchester funeral was yesterday. I watched from beginning to the end. I thought it was a fitting tribute to an inspiring woman. Christopher, well said, mate. It was superb comment there, Chris. That's a star there, mate. Give him a star message there. Then I was chatting to Lee. Biggest heat on the pitch all over the shop, over the pitch. Big up to Andrew, hope you'll find me it. That heat wave just highlights he'd never be given a decent shot as for position. He's a 10 in my eyes. And ASM on the right and Miggy on the left. ASM can play on the right. And Miron starts to mirror better because he's playing his natural position just off Martinez as well. And that's from Foxy there. And I thought he's going to jump on this then, but yeah, good point. Foxy, I thought he's going to jump on this there, but now he's a good guy anyway. If you get a right side midfielder, it could be good for ASM left. Miggy as a 10 and a new player on the right. We could do with two right side midfielders, by the way. Can't lie. Big up to Geordie, by the way. Hope you're okay. Excuse me. Big up to Grealish. Good go, lad. Grealish got at the end of the season. Would you take 40-50 million? Brad, would you take him?
No, probably take him for 40, but No, I just don't think he's. I don't think he's the type of player we're after. No, he's not. End of the day,
Not
I think
for
he'll,
you.
I think he will stay at City. To be honest, I can't imagine him. I don't know. Who would buy him. To be honest with you, I think he'll just stay. I think he'll just stay at City.
Well, he's got
I don't
5
think we
years.
would.
Unless Villa,
I don't. Yeah.
unless Villa were really willing to pay like 40 or 50 million. Well, then maybe you need to pay more than that to bring him back, and I couldn't see that happening. But I don't know who else would pay the money really.
I don't think they paid an
can't
awful lot
see-
of money for this guy.
City don't really need to get rid of him, and I think he'll be more than happy, despite what the rumours say. I think he'll be more than happy staying there, and it's strange in the City team, isn't it? Because you've seen players take a while to settle in, and then eventually they start scoring. So you never know, but he just doesn't seem too comfortable in that squad yet. But you never know; it might change.
Thing is, I don't think he'd be accepted here at Newcastle anyway after his Almiron comments. So
That's it.
I suppose he can go back to Villa, can't he?
Yeah,
They always buy people, don't they? So
yeah,
they buy retirement players coming up, so they could always go back there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's very true. Big up to Jules as well, one of my mods. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're okay. Miggy always fluffs trying to get a shot off the strong foot. He'd probably better on the left-hand side, that's for me. I wouldn't take Grealish. I think he's very overrated in my opinion. Big up to Jules again. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're okay. And look at this one here. Big up to Jules here, Geordie. I read Sefton. Check out this website, by the way. It's absolutely amazing. And hit the like button and subscribe button and enjoy the show. Thank you so much indeed. The Trulls saying that Jack Harrison. Yeah, you never know. Why Grealish wants to leave? Is he with the best team at the minute? He just can't really get in the first team, and I don't feel the style of football for him doesn't suit him as well. Foxy is saying, if anyone fluffs chances in our squad is Julian, when did he last score? He has more yellow cards than goals. That is from Foxy, by the way. Here's one for you. Can Isak play on the left? So would Isak, Wilson, Edison, would that work, Tony, with Isak?
Isak's played right before, hasn't he, for Sociedad? But to be honest with you, I'd rather have Isak playing up front. If I'm honest, I think he's better off as a striker rather than the right winger. And I think you would take a bit out of his game if you put him at right wing. So I think up front, the only thing I found the other day with Isak was because he's not getting that service. If he was getting that service, then I'm sure he'd thrive on that. But he needs them through balls coming in. But he just wasn't getting anything, and he was feeding off scraps basically, because Bruno's got to get back up to speed now. And I think once Bruno's fit and putting them balls through, I'll tell you what, he'll thrive on them balls. And then when Shelby comes back, when Shelby comes back, I think Willock will be dropped out of the team. And I'm not saying that because against Joe Willock, because I think he's a good player. But I think if Shelby was back playing now, I think Willock would be out of the team. And can you imagine the balls that he'd be putting over? Isak will be licking his lips at them balls from Shelby. Wouldn't he just?
100%. I mean, Isak's got the pace, and he's got pace, he's quick, and he'll get at the end of them as well. I'm sure Isak will beef up eventually, guys. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll beef up in the summer. Yeah. And I do like that Howe said he'd use Burn over Botman. That's just not what we need at a minute. We need Botman, in my opinion. He's choosing Burn over Botman, Brad.
Yeah, supposedly because of the games that were coming up, the games that they had, in the leadership Burn. But I don't know. It's a difficult one because you can't really fault Dan Burn or Shea, can you? But then again, we've brought Botman in for big money. You want to see him in the team and developing. So he's a really difficult one because unfortunately you can only pick two centre halves in the way we want to play currently. So it's a shame. It's going to maybe just a case of it'll just be a bit of a rotation. So we understand that we're not going to see Burn or Botman every week together. So it's just the way, unfortunately, the way it is at the moment. But I mean, as the season progresses, one of them should emerge as the favourite, and then start more games than the other. But we'll see how that goes. But let's just hopefully Botman, you know, he does look like a real player. So it'd be nice to see him on the pitch rather than you know, paying that money for him. We fought so hard to get him to the club, and then we don't want to see him sitting on the bench really. But no, well, it's all good competition. In that position, we're okay at the moment, which is promising. But it's the other end of the pitch where we need to be doing it, like you said before about Isak on the right. I think we've brought him in as a centre forward. I think that's his best position. That's where he needs to be. So the priority is we need that out and out right winger as a priority in the transfer window. I think whoever that may be, but I think that's at the moment that's number one, isn't it? He has to be over Almiron because we can't longer term we can't have him in that position, unfortunately. And if he gets in, if he was to get injured or for whatever reason, then we well and truly knackered for the remainder. But not too long. To be honest, we've not got that many games before we get to the January window because with the World Cup and stuff, it'll creep up. So when we get there, I'm sure you know they'll be lined up with many options. So if we can get that right winger in, I think that's be a game changer for us and something they'll be really looking at. So let's just hope that and again, the more the transfer windows go on, the better the competition becomes in the squad, and we start to fill out the squad. The players that particularly aren't good enough or don't want to be there, will get moved on, and then looking at the next 2 or 3 windows at least, we start to be in a position where we're getting healthy competition for places and we go up the table. So, I think that's the way it's going to be. It's just a shame to see. It's a shame to see some certain players that don't make the team, like Botman. But I suppose it is where it is at the minute.
Exactly, competition for places. I hope Sven get back in the team very soon. Go on, sorry.
Well, I didn't agree with that on Saturday with Eddie dropping Botman. I'm sorry, because Botman has been playing so well for us. He hasn't lost an aerial duel, right? And not only that, John, he's also playing some nice balls from defence as well.
Yeah.
But not only is he not just playing the nice balls from defence, but he actually causes a problem in the opposition defence against the opposition when corners and that are coming in. He actually does cause an opposition. I mean, it was his cross that led to Willick's goal against Palace that was choked off. So I'm not happy with Eddie dropping him on Saturday at all. We've worked a long time to get this guy in the club, and he's come in and he has started playing well. And he started off slow, but once he got in the team, he's played better and better and got better every game. And now, all of a sudden, he gets... And bearing in mind, he hasn't played for 2 weeks, John, but he gets dropped and Byrne gets put in. And I'm not having to go Dan Byrne for any minute before anybody has a go at me about Dan Byrne. I think Dan Byrne's been absolutely brilliant since he's come to the club. But I'm sorry, Botman is your Rolls-Royce defender over Dan Byrne any time, any day. And this lad's only 22 and he's only going to get better. And he's already pulled out the Holland squad because he wants to concentrate on Newcastle United at this moment. Now, he's probably going to put into risk maybe in the future. The Chronicle come out with some slaver that, or he's going to risk his future with the Holland team because he's pulled out the under-21s. Well, no, all he's done is he said, look, I just don't want to be in the squad at this time because I want to concentrate on Newcastle United, which, do you know what? That's fair enough. I've got no problem with people wanting to show their commitment to the club like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing is, I can't understand why he was dropped on Saturday. He's played so well, John. And I'm sorry, if he had been playing on Saturday, there is no chance that Billing would have scored that goal on Saturday. Not a chance. He would not have been left dead for that. And, I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, Brad's thoughts, but I certainly think that was a stupid move to put Botman on the bench. And I'm sorry I'm going to shout at Eddie like that, but that's the way I feel, John. I was really annoyed at that.
I'm going to have to agree. I kind of agree because Botman's done out wrong since he's come to the club. I think he's been fantastic. I mean, Dan Byrne is a decent defender. Oh, Dan's just popped out, by the way. And the thing is, right, that's not having a go, but it's just speaking facts. And you've got to speak facts on here as well, which I think is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? You can't just police people, right? You've got to say it how it is. Tony, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think Sven Botman, he's got to play against Fulham. Let's put it that way. He's got to play against Fulham. Yeah. And simple as that. Because if he doesn't, then I don't know what happened to him. But I think he's professional. He's not going to kick out a fuss. I think he's loving it at Newcastle. You know, he's going to give it time. He's going to give it time. But we paid 35 million for the lad. Let's hope that he gets games. That's what we need to see, Tony. I mean, that team selection is going to be interesting against Fulham. Very interesting. And
I mean,
he needs to make that team.
I mean, he's saying he left Botman out, just give him a rest and swap him around with Burn. I'm sorry, but no, you play your best team, you play your best squad. You know, at the end of the day, you play your best squad. So you play your best 11 that you've got. You play the strongest 11 you've got, irrespective if it's Bournemouth or Liverpool or say Leicester or Man United or Man City or Nottingham Forest. Doesn't matter who you play, John, whether they're weak teams or strong teams. You play your strongest 11 every time, and you always play your strongest back four. And our strongest back four is with Botman in there. And I was not happy that he was left out on Saturday. You know, and for Eddie to say he needs a rest, but you've had 2 weeks off. You know, it was unfortunate the games were cancelled last week.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, Botman has to start every game, in my opinion. Yes, Burns a great, solid player, and he's probably a 7 or 8 out of 10, probably most games. But, you know, the end of the day, we've paid 35 million for Botman. And I wonder if PIF are sitting back there and thinking, hang on, well, why is there a 35 million pound centre half sitting on the bench and Dan Burns taking his place when this guy has played well week in, week out, you know? And I'm not criticising Eddie for anything because I think Eddie's done a brilliant job when he's came in. But all I'm doing is I'm just trying to put my point of view out there that I didn't agree with that selection on Saturday. You know, and you know, I honestly think we could have probably won that game if Botman was playing. Who knows?
Exactly. I don't think, let's be real, I think Botman would have defended that. He would have done well against Benning as well, sort of thing. So, yeah, for me personally, I think he would have made a difference at the back. But I think Dan Burns was a fault for the goal, by the way. Let's be real. Can't lie. We need 2 wingers, 1 centre midfield, 1 right back. Gusto van Leon. I don't know a lot about that guy, by the way. I'll call me on Forrest Gump. Grealish is the most expensive bench warmer ever. Could well be, Chris. You're right. I think once Wilson's fit, Eddie, I would try Isak on the wing. Bigger to a big Man City fan, Aaron. Put with on the right side. Theo Longstaff at 36. Push Bruno up to right mid. Think we would solve some problems at the minute. Well, Jules being tactical there. Botman hasn't lost one every duel this season. I agree. Ace left, Isak centre, Wilson on the right. If he bought in the summer, we wouldn't have this problem. This is the right hand side, you're right. We could come to Jake and Murphy in a bit. Newcastle had a good first 11 when they were all fit, but the squad is very thin. Chris, you're right. We've been saying this for weeks now. Does Tony have any interest in stats on Isak so far, like ground aerial duels, ball winning?
I can have a look and tell you. Let's have a look and see, and we'll see how Mr. Isak's done for us so far.
I'll go through his comments. I do not think anyhow Eddie knows his back four. That's from Ruskin. Does those best two centre backs. I've only played Isak up top when his versus teams they don't set up to defend in 90 minutes. Given him space, otherwise it's pointless, and his movement is levels below Wilson as an out-and-out scorer. Surprised to hear Eddie's reason behind the Botman's decision. I hope he doesn't start chopping and changing the centre-backs on a constant basis. Well said, Tony. That's from Sefton. Botman has to start. Off to work. You take care, Sefton, my guy. Don't work too hard. John, you wanted Burn in England squad a couple months ago, not even starting lineup for us. Look, he's playing all right. He's playing okay, but maybe I've been over the top there. You know what I mean? I did say that at the time, but then I quickly realised there's better defenders in front of him as well. 100% agree with you there, Torn, mate, and good evening to you, Gary. Hope you're okay. Burn tends to make the mistakes and pulling frontally into space, all went back. Seeing that happen against Everton last season, Benfica, Bournemouth this season, he's still a solid defender though. Maybe Eddie underestimated Bournemouth. Could be. Well said, Tony. Why fight tooth and nail for a player that's not included for a game? You're big favourites for. Exactly. I have a feeling Sherry left out, and it'll be Burn and Botman next. He needs to have a strong centre back as well. He cannot play players because of low. He's not saying that it's the case with Howell, but I'm starting to wonder. I know I don't want Howell to go. I want him to choose the best team. He's right. Jules is correct there. Choose your best team.
Absolutely, John. But that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, if you've got a back four, say you've got the same back four. So you've got, say, Trippier, Shea, Botman, Target, right? They're your back four. They've been playing as your back four for, say, 4 games in a row now.
Yeah.
And, okay, we haven't really conceded or whatever, or we may have conceded 1 or 2 goals, but that's solid enough. And then you think, oh, we're playing a smaller team. I'll tell you what, we'll give Botman a rest and we'll put Dan Burn in. But then what you're doing is you're upsetting that back four. Because you're then changing it. You're taking one solid player out to put another player in. And then the telepathy between the players then goes offline a bit because they're all thinking, right, well, who's going where and who's marking where? Where if you've got the same back four, they're all on the same wavelength. Do you know what I mean, John? They're all on the same wavelength. So you all think the same. They all know the same. And that's the problem. And, you know, and I don't think Eddie should be swapping about. He should just keep the same team, you know. We don't want him becoming another Tinkerman like Ranieri used to be. He used to always tinker and take players out. Do you know, that's why he got the nickname Tinkerman, Mr. Tinkerman.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got to keep a consistent back. If you've got a consistent back four, if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it. Simple as. So you can keep the same back four. But I just don't get that. I mean, I would have preferred to have seen Botman on Saturday over Burn, you know. And that's no disrespect, like I say, to Dan Burn, because I think Dan Burn's been absolutely brilliant since he's come to the club. You know, he's been solid. He got us through what we were going through last season, you know. But if you've got a strong back four, you've got to keep that strong back four week in, week out. If we're playing European games, then I can understand if we're swapping about. But we're not playing European games. And maybe like one of the comments said, maybe we did underestimate what maybe Eddie has underestimated Bournemouth a bit, you know. Probably thinking, oh, well, we'll put Dan Burn and we'll give Botman a rest because we'll beat these anyway. And that wasn't the case. I don't know what you think, John.
Yeah, I have to agree there, sort of thing. We're not in Europe, so you got to screw for the best back four. And Sven Botman is one of the best defender got on the club, in my opinion. Yeah, no disrespect to Fabian Schär. I think he's a decent ball-playing defender. Class, Dan Burn, solid. Yeah, but Sven Botman got a lot. He's got everything for his lockout. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, PIF must be thinking, hang on a minute, we paid 40 million for this guy. He's not in the first team. But look, at the end of the day, right, you've got to field your regular back four. It's as simple as that. To have a good communication, you cannot keep chopping and changing. We're not Real Madrid. We're not Barca. We're not Bayern Munich. We're not Juventus. Yeah, you're not Man City. You cannot afford to do that. We haven't got the teams to do it. Like, do you know what I mean? But Sven Botman's got to play in the first team. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And we need to learn to play without Wilson and quick. He's a sit note. I could understand dropping Botman if Eddie and him had a row. We don't know if they had a row or not, but even then, it's a strange one. I'm afraid I can't go along with Howard's reasoning. That is fair enough. But Dan Burn, a solid defender, but Botman gives us a better range of passing, wins whatever battles or duels. Fantastic leader of the game, makes great tackles and covers well if a mistake is made. You've got to play Botman in, week out. You have to. Burno and Maguire, and 100% like coffee. You got Billy! He's my guy.
Hey, Billy.
Okay. If Charles dropped, then he'll bring in Lascelles because of the right foot left combo. And if Lascelles plays like he did at Anfield, I wouldn't be against it. So Billy's saying that if Lascelles play, he have no problems at all whatsoever. I think Charles would have played better with Botman at his side, but that's only my opinion. That's from Jules. Yeah, opinions are great. Emphasize to Billy and episode even chat. See, that's what he's talking about. He nails football, doesn't he? He really, really does. A top class centre half should be able to play on the left or on the right off the defence. That's from Chris. Struggling to break down Bournemouth concerns me more than we have at centre back. Bournemouth did exactly what they have to do. They asked the questions, we didn't come up with the answers. As simple as that. And nothing wrong with squad rotation when required, i.e., busy periods or specific games. Yes, fair enough, Andrew. That's fair enough. If it's like 3 games of the week, cool. 2 games of the week, cool. Do you know what I mean? Rotating is the option as well. We're going to talk about Jacob Murphy, by the way, right? I mean, everyone's favourite topic, right? I'm going to bring him up, by the way. I'm sorry, but look, I mean, he's been at the club Newcastle, right, for since got promoted 2017, right? This is his 6th season at Newcastle United. Okay, he's been out on loan and Sheffield Wednesday, right? Where he's scored 9 goals at his time. His appearances, 100 appearances in Newcastle, 4 goals, right? 7 assists, right? That's in 100 appearances, right? We all know what this guy isn't good enough for Newcastle United, right? And what I don't understand is, right, why Eddie keep playing him. I just don't understand it at all whatsoever. And it's been Achilles heel now, right? It's going to happen, Tony, right? If he keeps playing Jacob Murphy, right, I don't want fans having a go at Eddie, but people will be asking him questions and say, look, why is he playing Jacob Murphy? We all know he is not good enough. We all know he is not Premiership level. And also we know as well, he's lost a lot of confidence as well, man. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it is, John. I mean, I just don't know why he's even at the club, to be fair, because he's just not cutting it, John, is he? He's just not cutting it at all. I mean, I'll just share something on screen. And this is embarrassing, to be fair, John. This is stats on Jacob Murphy. So we'll bring up these stats on Murphy. Are they up yet, John?
Yeah. Well, I'll do. I'll get this up there.
There we go.
The there you go.
So that's it. So right. So you can see Jacob Murphy there. This is back. So season 2021, John. This was when he got his 6-year deal. Because of the back of the season, apparently he had a great season. Okay. So yeah, he played 17 out of 26 games. But 2 goals and 3 assists all season. Right. I think if I remember, one of those goals came against Wolves, a free kick last minute. Now, so anyway, so his accuracy per game was 71% passing. Own half was 78%. Opposition half was only 57%. His crosses were only 25% accurate. So that shows you how bad he was. But then, Mike Ashley and all his wisdom, wow, what a season Jacob Murphy's had. Oh, we don't want to lose him. Let's give him a 6-year contract because we can't afford to lose this player. Well, I'm sorry. Those stats have told you Jacob Murphy ain't Premier League quality, So that's back in 2021. So then you go to last season. He played 13. He started 13 out of 33 games. 1 goal, 2 assists. Right? That's not good enough for a right winger. That is not good enough, John. Scoring frequency every 1,482 minutes. That is just absolutely woeful, John. And then if we want to go further back to when we got promoted from the Championship, so the 17-18 season, he started 13 out of 25, 1 goal, 1 assist. Scoring frequency, 1,145 minutes.
Dear.
Again, not good enough. Not good enough. And then you go to today, 7 games, non-started, 16 minutes per game, and he's done nothing. There's his crosses, 0%. Chip passes, 0%. You know, it's just
madness.
accurate in his own half, 89%. That's probably because he's passing it sideways. That's why he's 89% accurate in his own half, because he's passing it from side to side. So it just shows you Jacob Murphy is not good enough as a player. And then you go to, so we'll go to the Championship and have a look. So this was when I think we loaned him to Sheffield United.
Wednesday,
sorry. Yeah, Wednesday, the other team. So he started 24 out of 39, 9 goals and 4 assists in the Championship. Again, not really great, is it? But his scoring frequency was every 255 minutes in that one. And then I think when we got him from Norwich, he played 32 out of 37, 9 goals, 6 assists. And his crosses out of that was only 19% in the Championship. So he's not really that great, is he? You know, he really isn't that great, John. You look at them stats and they're just absolutely woeful. You know, gaining his own half, 74% accurate passing, but his long balls were only 38% and 19% for crossing. That's just absolutely awful, that is. And, this guy's 27 and they're saying his player value is only worth 3.7 million. I'll give him away on a free transfer if I were. I'll tell you that now. I would just say, you know what? Who wants him, take him. Yeah, but... The problem is, because he's on this long contract and because he's got 4 years, how much would it cost our owners? How much would it cost them to rip his contract up and say, right, there you are, there's your money, off you go, contract ripped up, go and find yourself another club. Problem is, I don't know how much it would cost them. Whether he would come to some agreement with them and say, I'll accept whatever. Maybe they could sit down and talk about it and talk figures and come to an agreement that might suit the club and suit the player. The guy just needs to go, John. We have to get rid of him. He's not good enough, John. And to be honest with you, I would like to know how many teams in the Championship would take him, because I'll tell you now, I don't think there'd be many takers in the Championship for him. He'd be lucky if he's playing in the Championship. He'd probably have to go down to League One, if I'm honest. And even then, that's probably too high a level for him.
Do you know what it is, Tony? Do you know what it is? Right? I think the Championship might have forgotten Jacob Murphy's name. Let's be honest, fellas. You know what I mean? But it's just getting ridiculous. It really, really is. The sooner he realises he's not good enough, the better. He's got us to say, look, Newcastle are a progressive club. You're going to get world-class players, going to get top quality class players going in. I don't think I'm going to be a part of this team, this project. I need to be aware. That's it.
Thing is, I used to always think, John, did we ever buy the wrong Murphy? Should we have got his brother, Josh, because he seemed to be the better player of the two of them? And, and when he played for Cardiff, his brother, he was pretty good. I mean, now he's at Oxford United. He went on a free transfer from Cardiff, but this season. But I used to, but back then I used to think, well, I'm sure we've got the wrong Murphy. I'm sure we should have signed Josh and not Jacob, because Jacob's useless.
He is, isn't he?
And yeah, okay, you can have a bit of a season where you score a couple of goals and have a few assists, but it doesn't entail you to get a 6-year contract. But then this is the crazy world of our former owner who left the club in the total shit that was in. And not only that, Eddie's in this mess where he can't just get rid of players willy-nilly because of what he's done, our former owner, and the problem is there was a lack of investment in the club before the new owners took over. And now we're paying the price for Mike Ashley's failings. And until we can get a decent bench and a decent squad together, that's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. It's going to take a hell of a lot of time, because eventually we will get these players out of the club, but it's going to take time. And that's what we've got to think. It's time. So, but if we want to get into the upper echelons of the Premier League, the 7th, your 6th, whatever for Europe, the likes of Jacob Murphy, Ryan Fraser, they ain't going to get us there. Not at all.
Well said.
Do you know what?
Well said.
And if I was Eddie Howe at the weekend, if it was me personally, and I'm not a professional football manager by any chance, before anybody shoots me down, but if it was me, do you know what I'd rather have done on Saturday? If I was taking Fraser off, I would rather have put Jamal Lewis on the left wing and say, look, do you know what, mate? Go and see what you can do. And then when Almiron come off, I would have said to Manquillo, get on the right wing at Manquillo and throw a few crosses in there, or swap with Trippier, put Trippier on the right wing and you go into right back. You know, we know Manquillo can cross the ball because he's done it before for us. And, you know, Jamal Lewis can't be any worse than what Ryan Fraser is on the left wing. And the same with Manquillo. He can't be any worse than what Almiron is. So, you know, I would rather put them on than bring the donkey that Murphy is on.
Yeah.
You know, he's just useless.
It's absolutely shocking. He really, really is, Tony. And the sooner he gets out of the club, the better. Hopefully in January. I mean, Billy summed it up beautifully. Murphy has regressed terribly this season. There must be an under 23 player that gives us more. Elliot Hansen. And
well, what have I been saying, John? What did I say to you the other day? Surely there's got to be an under 23 winger which is better than Murphy, who you could give a chance to.
100%. You did. Absolutely. I could play that back if you want to. You did say that. You're absolutely right.
And the same with the strikers, John.
Yes.
You know, with Chris Wood, why don't we give Weston? Why don't we put Westendorf on the bench or Dylan Stevenson on the bench? You know, give them a go, give them a cameo, give them 15 minutes. Isaac Westendorf or, you know, Dylan Stevenson. I'd rather bring them on than Chris Wood.
I know.
They're young lads, they're hungry. You know, Westendorf came from non-league and he's been doing well for the under-23s. Why not give him a shot?
Absolutely. Give him a shot in the cup. He knows.
Yeah.
Murphy's shite. Absolutely. That's an Andrew. I think, you know, early on, my guy. Anderson needs to start healing Murphy now. And a coffee. Not what I meant. A Miggy is very good car, but far from Ferrari. That's in truth. Watching you two ones now, standing out on Bonswell and Jude Smith at the minute doesn't help Murphy at all. Jackie B, by the way. First national wingers who beat their man, and first time crosses the best for Wilson, who gets across the defence with a finish. Absolutely. We got two statics well. Your big Guna. 23 people hitting the likes. Guys, please hit the like button if you can. Yeah, only got 23 at the minute. I want to get 70 plus today. That'd be amazing. And also, if you're new to the channel, like I see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you like the super chat, it's open, and there's just give what the channel's worth. And if you like to go for the membership, then it's 99p. Become a member, and you be there. And yeah, 23 likes. If Murphy wasn't a Toon fan, he would have been given a boot by now, but they are. Hopefully, his emotional connections to the club helps in dressing room, in my opinion. That's an Andrew Bell. The problem with Murphy that he looks like he's making a debut every time he comes on. Nervous, rather looking at headlights, Bambi on ice, exactly. And Foxy saying, I agree with most fans who were on Botman starting last weekend, but for us, to blame the result solely on that is poor form. No excuses, as a team wasn't good enough. And I got Billy as well. When Gashley gave Murphy the 6-year deal, I don't think he thought the 6-year would have been as a Premier player. And he is right. The problem is that Almiron's not too much better than Murphy on pure stats. Jacob Murphy needs to fresh start somewhere else. Is knocking the confidence every time he plays for us. And we will certainly be benefit both our club and the player himself. I totally agree, Christopher. Totally agree. And Billy said, Premiership. Can't believe I'm saying this, but world does would rather have Richie playing right wing. He said that, Tony, as well. He might have had the legs, but he starts a good cross. Unlike Murphy, he was all in the way. Tony, did you say that the other day?
I did. I said, yeah. Even Matt Ritchie, yeah. I would have brought Matt Ritchie on and give him a go. You know, there's no harm in that. But you know, as I said earlier on, John, in the program, what I said earlier on was, why doesn't Eddie Howe give Almiron the chance on the left and see how he does? Because you might, like I said, we may put him on the left. Now we're looking at, say, Jack Harrison, right? So you're talking, what, say in excess 40 million for Jack Harrison, right? And we want to buy, say, Diaby, who's going to cost about 55 million. Let's not let's not scratch around that. That's going to cost about 55 million. So that's 95 million for 2 wingers, okay? So see you get Diaby for 55 million, and you've got Almiron on the left. Now, Almiron could save you the 40 million that you might want to spend on Jack Harrison, because you may put him on the left and he may turn into a decent player and a better player. And then all of a sudden we'll all be sitting, hang on a minute. And then people will be scratching their heads going, well, hang on. Why is anyhow not done this a lot sooner? Why has he left it so late to start now on the left? He's tearing it up on the left. So that could be that could be a difference. And that could be a difference of saving you £40 million. Exactly. Where you could use that £40 million to utilise somewhere else in the squad. So you see that there is bits there, but it's just whether Eddie wants to try on the left, and that's the problem. He keeps them on the right, and I think that's where I think Eddie gets stuck in his ways sometimes, of sticking with formations and things like that. But just let the lad drift out, put him on the left, and see how he does. You only got to give him 1 or 2 games on the left.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't impress, then if he doesn't impress on the left, then well, if he can't impress on the right, he can't impress on the left. Then there's only one way for that lad, and that's through the exit door, unfortunately. But you'll never know unless you try him. And as I said, when his first season started, when he was here with Rafa Benitez, Rafa played him on the left.
Absolutely. And just said there, if he doesn't play on the left, it doesn't get any joy on the left, there's a problem, a big problem for Miggy. 6 year on a 40k a week is 12 million. So I say he's free. If you care about the club, just go, lad. That's an Andrew. And Jules has said, and Alonso hasn't pulled up any routes, so it's to speak. He has laid down beside them, in my opinion. I think there's few players that won't move in unless I agree with Gary. Alongside the good in some games and bad in other games. I tell you what, he lost the ball about 5 times since he's come on Longstaff. That is criminal. And I hope our fan base now realises that it's clearly not good enough and just actually speak the truth and say how it is. Andrew Bell, absolutely correct. Who won him? 6 year, I think I read that as well. Murphy was good at a Porsche of a Wednesday at the time. They were one of the lowest scoring teams in the league, so I couldn't criticise them on that. But clearly, the Prem isn't this level at all. Foxy, you're right. In fact, Fraser, Murphy, and Miron needs to do plays for quality players. Big up to you, Michael, as well, my guy. Hope you're okay. It was Ashley's leaving gift by giving long contracts to players or championship players at best. Do you know what it is, Gareth? I will not be surprised, mate. I will not be surprised at all whatsoever. And thank you, Gary, for doing that, mate. Jude Smith, keeping Barnsley out single-handedly. He came from East Fife, right? And, yeah, I'll tell you what, I think Jude Smith's going to be a quality keeper in the years to come. Let's hope that is the case. I don't think Murphy impressed in pre-season too. He didn't. If you don't have a good pre-season, you've got a big, big problem as well coming into the new season. A big problem. And let's go with Billy. And we've got Prime Kevin Gillespie is what we need. There you go. You need to keep Gillespie, who is blessed with him, who is blessed with Solano, who is blessed with Waddle, right? But in today's game and our team, these players, they get more money than the one names I mentioned, and they're just not performing.
Yeah, John, when you think all the years, we've had some bloody good wingers. We've had Ginola. We've had Laurent Robert. Laurent Robert had a wonderful left foot, and I mean a wonderful left foot. I mean, he could strike a ball from anywhere on the pitch and basically score every goal. Because, I mean, he'd shot from like 30 yards and still bang it in the net. I mean, we've seen some cracking goals. And then you've seen the simple goals from Laurent Robert, So there's a couple there. And then we've had Gillespie, we've had Solano. We've had some great wingers, John. And that's it. If we could have a clone of David Ginola and Keith Gillespie and a right and left winger, that would be absolutely perfect. But another thing what we've got to try and learn to do as well, John, and when we're putting these balls in, these crosses in, we've got to make sure we're missing that first man. And, like on corners, because when you go back to like last season, when we played Southampton, Bruno got his first goal from the corner. Target's corner. Nice looped corner in. Burnhead had it back. And then the back heel from Gimaresh. Do you remember that? From Bruno.
Yes.
You know, it's like that. If we can replicate stuff like that, where the tall defenders can get ahead and get it back across the goal, you've got more chance of scoring. But if you don't put them in high enough and you keep either hitting the first man, or you've got a keeper who's going to come out and collect everything like Neto did on Saturday, then all them corners are just wasted, in my opinion. They've got to be in there, and you've got to do it. You've got to do them differently. That do an out swinger or do an in swinger, but it's got to make sure that gets past that first man.
Well said. Well said. Because our set pieces has been shocking. It really has. Absolutely terrible. Just quick on around Fraser as well, right? I mean, I'm going to him quickly, right? I mean, this guy came in. I think it's his third season, I think, in Newcastle United, right?
Yeah.
And Ryan Fraser, I mean, let's be real. I mean, it's not been exactly brilliant, hasn't it? He's also got a couple of goals for us as well. He's another one, right? I don't think he's going to make it in Newcastle United, you know what I mean? Because he's promised, he promises a lot, but he hasn't really done it. I mean, I watched him on Saturday, right? Apart from that shot, which is a good shot, right? Let's be real. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Fraser's consistent enough for me at all. He got on the left side and he should be saying, this is my stake. This is my biggest opportunity to be in this team, to beat ASM, keep it out of the team. Yeah? Do you know what?
Yeah.
ASM should not lose any sleep on this, because at the end of the day, again, he wasn't that great on Saturday. Let's be real. And some of the games I'm watching this season, right, hasn't been great. I don't think he's the answer, no.
He's just absolutely terrible at the moment, John. And he doesn't look like the Ryan Fraser that we knew from Bournemouth. He looks a totally different Ryan Fraser. So I'll pop his stats up and we'll have a look, John, and then I can give a comparison on on what he is, Ryan Fraser.
I'll go for this comments as well. We do that. And what if you can turn Bex out of retirement? Yeah, I tell you what, because he still do a job, by the way. Let's be real. Problem you have with Smith ain't getting a wage or contract anywhere else like he has here. He's women, so I suggest see it out. That is the thing. To me personally, to stop him from doing that, chuck him in the reserves, and he'll soon change his mind, by the way. Yeah, what would you rather do? Play in the reserves, not being noticed, or play for a championship club where you can get someone out to the league and make a difference? But if he puts money before future, shame on you, Jacob, or anyone else for that matter. I think you should look at Brighton's McAllister and Jarry. He looks a player. Man, so that's a flipping great shout, yeah? He would be absolutely brilliant for Newcastle United, yeah? People saying that, he can't hack in the Premier League. Let's be real. That guy is absolutely brilliant. And he's Argentina international as well. I think he'd play in the World Cup, by the way. Instead of Bex, I'd rather bring Shu out of retirement. We need wingers, mate, in a minute. Ryan Fraser was wanted by Arsenal for us. Had most assists, I believe, in one season in the Premier League. One trip pony, mate. One trip pony. I love Robert. He was one of my favourite players as a kid, but in the modern game, the left back behind him would need to be Prime Aldini. That is the thing. You're right, Andrew. And Jason here. Big up to you, Jason. Hope you're okay, mate. And let's bring up this. The next one, Ryan faces is record. Take it away, Tony, mate. Take it away, man.
Right. So this is when he first joined us, 2021 season.
Yeah.
9 out of 8. He started 9 out of 18 games. 2 assists, no goals. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
His crossing was only 24%. So not great. Okay. What Gareth was saying before, I believe it was Gareth, is that right?
Yeah.
About
Gareth.
the most assists in one season.
Yeah.
I think it was this season, 18-19, when he played at Bournemouth. So he started 35 out of 38 games, 7 goals scored, 14 assists. That was that season when he played really, really well. Even though his crossing was only 28%, but his passing was accurate from his own half, 84%. But that was a good season for Fraser, the 14 assists and 7 goals. I mean, that is amazing stats for somebody, isn't it? And I don't know what his season before that was. The season before that, he played 23 out of 26 and got 5 goals and 3 assists in that game, in that season, sorry.
Yeah.
And then back in 16-17, 19 started out at 28, 3 goals, 5 assists. So, you know, he was starting to come into his own in the Premier League back then. I believe they signed him from Aberdeen for £200,000. Bournemouth did.
Correct.
Don't know if we've got when he was in the Championship. That was in the 15-16 season. He scored 4 goals in that game. In that season. So, yeah. So he wasn't, he wasn't too bad. But this season, 3 started out of 5. No goals, no assists, no nothing. His crossing's only 30%. It's woeful. That is absolutely woeful for crossing. And we'll have a look at last season's stats. So on his heat map here, he's left and right. 2 goals, out 18 out of 27, 2 goals and 3 assists last season. But he's not done anything this season to replicate even any of that form, you know. And this guy can play left wing, right wing, striker, midfield left, midfield right. But he's not up to standard. He's not up to scratch, in my opinion, John. And again, last season, if you look, it was mostly on the right he played rather than on the left. But under Eddie Howe, at Bournemouth, we'll go back to them stats again at Bournemouth. So we go back to 18-19. So for Eddie Howe that season, when he's had that great season of 14 assists and 7 goals, he was predominantly a left-sided player.
Yeah.
So it's not like him playing left now is something new. Playing left back then, he was playing brilliant. And that's how we had that cracking season. That's where Arsenal wanted to buy him, which is right what Gary said. Arsenal wanted to buy him that season. And then I think his contract ran out. He let himself down, I suppose, with Bournemouth fans. And I don't think they forgive him for that because it was during the COVID that they wanted to extend his contract for, I think it was just for 6 weeks because when Project Restart come back up, any players that were out of contract could sign a temporary contract just to play the rest of the restart. And he refused to do that with Bournemouth. Probably had he done that with Bournemouth, they probably would have stayed up. Who knows? But yeah, and I can see why Bournemouth fans aren't happy with him at all. It's not really an attitude to have. But when we got him, he just wasn't the same player, and we've never seen him. And that's the problem, John. We're not seeing this sort of stats out of him now, unfortunately. And he seems to have just gone downhill dramatically from that season of 18-19 to the present season, and he just hasn't improved. If you're that good, then you should be keeping that consistency up. Yeah. And he's not keeping that level of consistency. So, and he's 28 now. I think he's another one. It's time for him to go. Time for him to be shown the door. There's the exit door. Off you go. Go and find another club. Not sure how long he's got left on his contract.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. He's probably on big money.
80 grand a week, I believe.
Yeah. So there we go. Big money. It's another one. How do you get him off the books? It's and the problem is no Premier League club will touch him because he ain't that good, John. He's not that good. So another one. Unfortunately, if we have to, he'll just have to sit on the sidelines and just be a substitute because he's just not good enough. Not good enough, John. And those stats don't lie, I'm afraid.
Well said. Well said. Truth be spoken, that's facts. That is facts. What do you think of that, guys? Leave in the comments in the comment section. Do you agree with Tony? I do. Fraser lost a yard since he's come here and just poor in general other than work rate. Yeah, I have to agree. Evans Centrals and Fraser played 18-19. Surely it's not that old. That's one Chris. Class. Where's Judy Hopps today? Oh, we do miss her, by the way. I like coffee. She wasn't bad on her either. Blackburn Rovers brings to mind. And remember that game against United where Fraser and Lonsdale lost sight of the ball and left it behind? Yeah, I can remember that. That was awful defending, by the way. Wow. What games are you playing, Jason? I'll tell you. Other than being a treat in transition, Fraser restricts us to 6. Not seeing him get behind the centre back or run at a fullback in a long time. Shame if I was a fan of us. You know what it is, right, Andrew? Right? I think this guy has not been the same player since his Bournemouth years. Let's be real, because again, I'm still waiting. after 2.5 years. That's a long time. I don't completely see Chris Wood to blame, as he literally don't play to any of his strengths. He's a 10 to 12 goal striker, easy in a poor Burnley team. This is Newcastle, by the way, Asif. This is Newcastle, do you know what I mean? And we need better wingers to make it happen. ASM, yes, improved. The rest of them, I'm sorry, they're not good enough. Elliot Anderson, he needs to be playing, by the way. The amount of players we got to take for a financial kick in at the balls and move them on for must make the club's accountable team cringe. That's down to the former regime, Andrew, mate. That's the former regime, mate. Chris Wood had a lot of opportunities against Benfica, but he was poor. That chance he had, man, was an absolute joke. It really is. But at the end of the day, right, tell us what you think, guys. Leaving the comments section down below after you close the show. Should the 3 players, Jacob Murphy, Miggy Almiron, around Fraser, should be all moved on to make way for top quality players in January or even the summer? Because I'll tell you something, it's heading that way, Tony.
It is. I mean, it's just that. The thing is, John, that's just not good enough. That's the problem. But, you know, the Almiron thing can be sorted. But if we only push him to the left and give him that go, unless we give him a go on the left, we are never going to know how good Almiron is. And as I said, if you look back at Rafa's season, when he came in the January, he played left. Everybody else is starting to play him right. He's not a right-sided player. He's more left-sided. Play him on the left, play him in that position, see what we get out of him. Like I say, he might save us £40 million, John. That's the thing. That's what you look at with Harrison. He might save us that £40 million that we don't have to spend out then in, say, January on a left-sided winger. But, you know, because ASM can go on the right, no problem. He can work with Trippier. That's no problem. And then that sort of frees up that side. But, you know, try Miggy on the left. It's not going to hurt. And see where we go from there. If he doesn't do well on the left, then, like I said, we know he's not good enough at the club, and then we have to move him on. You know, but I think, you know, just see how it goes with him, you know. And I'll just share this stat because somebody did ask me earlier about Alexander Isak, didn't they?
Yes. I can't remember who it was. I think it's I Like Coffee. I think it must have been him.
Yeah, it must have been. Yes, that's who it was. Sorry, John.
I'll go for this comments for you there. And thing is, we're going to have the same problem where we tried to get rid of Chris on 100k a week. No one would pay them wages, and certainly not to Chris, by the way. Big up to Mason, by the way. Hope you're okay, mate. I keep Miggy for the season. Gashley must have an giggle at us trying to move on some of the guys he boasts. That's an Andrew. Wouldn't surprise us, mate. Miggy's good enough to be a sub when you need someone to close down at the end of the game. Wait till Fino up, by the way, perhaps, maybe. See a lot of deadwood in the team. That one shipping out, lads. Gary, I'm not even going to argue you, my guy. I'm not. And Miggy's 20 years, so that should get someone younger anyway. And thank you, Tony. Thank you so much indeed for that. There's one wing I'd love to get, right? Now, whether ASM moves on in the future, right, before I bring up Isak, is this player called Kvaratskhelia for Napoli. That guy for Georgia only cost 10 million quid, right? I watched him, right? And this guy, I tell you something, right? Lorenzo Insigne, his name's going to be forgotten because this guy is brilliant. Kvaradana, they call him at Napoli, right? That guy, if he's available at any time, get this guy in. I'll break the bank to bring this guy in for Napoli because he is, to me, I think he's given 2 more years, and we'd be the best left wing in the world football. I'm telling you, let's be real. And do you
remember the last Georgian we had at the town, John?
Yeah, Kispire. He can have a word of him.
Hey, yeah.
He can have a word.
I I tell you what, John, I'll never. Do you know what? It always sticks in my mind, that celebration when he scored and then he took his shirt off and then tried to take his boots off and things like that, and then he kicks into the advertising boards. That was hilarious. We don't know what that was all about. It was frustrated something, wasn't he? I think he was frustrated at being on the bench or something, wasn't he? But he weren't a bad player. He gave his all, didn't he?
He did. He wasn't world class, but when he does go on the pitch, you're right, he gives them all. We love him. His work rate's fantastic, and he tracks back. You know what I mean? And we loved Kisbaya. And I'll tell you something else. Right? We could do him right now in the midfield three. He will work his socks off. He would.
He would, John. He would.
100%. Right then, Alexander.
So I like Coffee. Like to know how he's doing so far. Right. Okay. So he's played 3 games. He's got 2 goals in 3 games, which ain't a bad scoring record. That's every 122 minutes. Shots per game is 2.7, which isn't bad. Shots on target per game, 2. So that's not bad either. He's getting 2 shots on target, and he's missed 2 big chances. One of them we know was against Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So his touches, he has 23.3 touches per game. Accuracy per game in passing wise is 66%, which is not bad. Bear in mind, he's only played 3 games. Accuracy in his own half is 100%. Accuracy in the opposition half is 61%. And his chip passes are 67% accurate. He's not had any crosses because he hasn't had to put any in at the moment, or long balls. So on his passing wise, he's actually not too bad at all. He's doing all right, considering he's only had 3 games and he's playing in the Premier League. So, so technically he's done all right, in the Premier League for us. And he's defending. He puts in 1.3 tackles per game.
Yeah,
not bad for us. Not bad for a striker who gets back and helps out. His dribbles is 40% successful. Total duels won, he's won 45%. He's won 44% of ground duels, 45% aerial duels. He's committed 1.3 fouls, was fouled once, and he's been offside 0.7. So technically, he's only been offside once, John. But that was that Liverpool debacle, and he hasn't picked up any cards either. So he's fine that way.
Yeah.
And then obviously against Bournemouth, we'll pull up his stats by game. So he played the whole 90 minutes, scored 1 goal, 3 shots on target, 2 dribble attempts, 2 successful, 31 touches in the game. Accurate passes, 11 out of 16, so that gives you 69%, 2 key passes. He had 6 ground duels, won 3 of them, 5 aerial duels, he won 3 of them. He lost possession 10 times, was fouled once. He done 1 foul, he was fouled once. He done 1 tackle and 1 dribble passed. So yeah, and he got 7.6 for that game.
Wow.
Off sofa score. So there you go. That just shows you in comparison how well he's done. And if we go back to his first game, just take that off. We'll go back to the Liverpool game.
Yeah. Which
was his debut. So he played 64 minutes. He got 1 goal. He should have had 2, really. 1 shot on target, 1 off target, 1 dribble attempt, wasn't successful. 18 touches in 64 minutes. His accurate passing was 7 out of 10 passes, so 70%. Ground duels when he won 3 out of 5, and he won 1 out of 1 in aerial duels. He lost possession 4 times. He done 1 foul. He was fouled once, offside once. He had 1 interception and 2 tackles. That was his debut. And that was only 64 minutes or so of him. So, the guy's getting better and better. And
he is.
I certainly think by the time the World Cup comes around, he'll be up to speed with the Premier League. And I could see this guy getting at least 15 goals this season. And if he does, even if he only scored 15 goals this season, that would be a remarkable achievement. But if he went on and say scored 19, that's 1 and 2. That's not a bad ratio. So I'm not going to put pressure on the lad, but I can see him scoring, and I can see him and Wilson setting up a nice partnership, depending, and that's only depending on how much Wilson stays fit. I mean, you know, we can have a quick look at Callum, and just see how many games we get out of Callum Wilson. So I mean, this season he's played 3, started 3, 2 goals. Okay, out of Wilson already. So we go back to his debut season with us. He played 23 out of 26 games and got 12 goals and 5 assists in that season.
Yeah.
Under Mr. Cabbage. Last season, he only played 16 out of 18 and got 8 goals and was our top scorer last season.
Yeah.
On 8 goals, which is embarrassing, really, to think that the top scorer scores 8 goals in your team, you know, and he's been out for like 4 months of that season as well. And you go back to his Bournemouth days, that's 18-19 season. 29 out of 30 started, 14 goals, 9 assists in that season. So if he could play 30 games a season, he gets 14 goals in 30 games in the Premier League. Now, the thing is, if he can do that in the Premier League out of 30 games, can you imagine how many you get for us out of 30 games? I think he could be close to the 20 mark.
Oh, agree.
17-18 season. He only got 8 that season out of 28 games. We go back further to the 15-16 season. His first season in the Premier League. He started 9 out of 13 games played and got 5 goals. So his ratio for goals is not bad at all, you know. But if we could get 30 games a season out of Callum Wilson, I believe. Yeah. Well, I believe he could go a long way, you know. I mean, we go back to the England games when he played. He didn't get any goals. He played 2 games, but he didn't start any of them. So he didn't have a chance in that one. And then he played the Nations League as well against Switzerland. Again, came on and played, but didn't score any goals for England. But yeah, if we can get 30 games out of Wilson in a season, that would be absolutely fantastic. But that's the thing. It's just how many games you get out of Wilson, you know. Can you imagine him and Isak go on a scoring spree together? You know, it could bring you. It could be the remain. You know, you remember the Shearer Ferdinand partnership, how good that was. That, you know, that we could have that all over again with Wilson. But the problem is, it's just keeping Wilson fit. That's the problem. If you can't keep Wilson fit, then we're not going to see that consistency. And I do believe that he would have got more than 14 goals if he had played 30 games in one season. I would love to see I would love nothing more than to see a Callum Wilson fit for the whole season, because I would truly believe he would score over 20 goals, John, and I quite believe that. As long as he's got that service.
Agree. Totally agree.
Isak and Wilson could complement each other as well. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing that partnership, if that's a partnership that Eddie goes down the road with.
100%, man. 100%. It's worth trying. I think that could be a success. I really, really do. Billy said he destroyed Liverpool. Yeah, he did. I convinced all the Premier League scouts watch me and Paul's channel for playing the scout. Kishashvili.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, because you weren't that good anyway.
Nah, I wasn't that great at all. Let's be real. And Kespai was true gen metal Chinese singing, got me a drink when he saw me eyeing this. You know what? Good stats for 3 games. And just chatting to I like coffee. Kespai was a bit of a maniac, but he always scores goal for us. Exactly. Offside, that's what I think I'll call it. I think Billy might be in the chat. So I will judge Isak at the end of the season and how well he has done. Too little to judge him right now. That's a Mansell. I'm not slagging Wilson, but he has quite a few sit-outs. And limited cabbage. He's very funny, 20 and Gaz. Not bad stats from playing part-time. I'm not slagging Wilson off, but he's missed quality. Yeah, I've read that. And we go for the comps for you that. Oh, cool. Business, fantastic too. And Ryan, if we don't, Azen or Anson fit, I consider change of formation. You play 4-3-3 because of the wingers. I've had enough seeing Fias and Murphy and Richie in our squad. Who are you? Useless. And Ryan, I have to agree. Mate. Simple as that. So we're going to wrap up there because you've been an hour and a half, right? And I think it's a cracking short and neat. Like, it's just a shame Brad can't come back because he's having problems with his internet. So he won't be back. He'll be back soon, 110%. And Tony, if you just give us a shout out, man, where to find us.
Yeah, so you can find me down there at TonyTony31 on Twitter. Follow me and I will follow you back. And also, if you haven't checked it out, go and check out www.northwestmags.com. Brand new website launched last Thursday. Set up by Sefton Mag, who you may know have been in the chat. It's a great website. There's lots of different things to look at on there. There's actually a forum on there. So if you click on that, and you can join in with a discussion with other like-minded Newcastle fans. And there's also a gallery. So if you've got any pictures of you in your shirts at the match, or if you're anywhere in the world, send a selfie in. There's an email option. You can email it through and Sefton will put you in the gallery. But go and check it out. It's a really nice website. That's northwestmags.com. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Tony, and thank you for coming on as always, mate. And thanks for all the chat. Watched it, enjoyed the show. I mean, just before I let it go, do you think Miggy, Ryan, and Jacob should all be on their way in January or in the summer to bring in top quality wingers? Because for me personally, I'll keep one, the others can go, and let's be real. And we need them to go forward to keep Isak and Wilson happy as well. So we need to be sure and ambitious. We spent a lot of money this season, right, from January up until now, and we have not brought in a right-side midfielder, and that needs to be worked on very, very quickly. So, guys, if you like the video, like what you see, it's in the link. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. If you like the super chat, then click on the $sign. If you'd like to become a member, there's always time to become a member. Just click in the link in the description as well. Click on that, and it's only 99p. Not $1.99, not $4.99, not $10.99, just 99p. So, yeah. So let's go on to always cracking show. Thank you so much, Gary D. And big up to Ryan. Looking forward to seeing you on Paul Sure. That should be a cracker. Join him for that. And big up to Jeff as well. Shutting the shop. Close the show.
Also, John.
Yeah.
Just quickly, John, before we go off. The thing is as well, I look at, we're looking at like wingers and things like that. But do you think, John, maybe not in January, but maybe next summer, do you think we look to another striker to possibly replace Wilson? Because if we're not getting these full seasons out of Wilson, then do we look to bring in a younger striker that can develop? So even if Wilson was around next like the season after next, then at least we've got another striker who can come through the ranks and get up to pace with the Premier League, and also probably end up taking Wilson's place, and then maybe Wilson probably moves on elsewhere. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, John?
The thing is, though, Callum, I think we need to see what happens at the end of the season, personally, see how he does. But if he gets no bad interest, sort of, and he's out for a certain amount of time, then I think we need to look into it. Do you know what I mean? I love Callum the bits. I think he'd be out as a subs bench, because we have only a left 11's contract. However, for me, we need to get a striker in, because at the end of the day, right, Isak was a fantastic buy. We need another striker in case Callum injuries just keeps flaring up. Sort of, I want my strikers to play 38 games a season, probably minimum 30 games. But at the end of the day, me personally, I think it all hinges on the season. It's his third season at Newcastle, right? And when he plays, he's been absolutely fantastic, yeah? But we definitely need a new good striker sort of thing. He's got to come through the door. And I'm sure that it will happen pretty soon. Let's hope so. And I don't know what people in the chat will think of that about Callum Wilson. I mean, would you think of the same? But for me, if I'm honest, Tony, I wait till the end of the season and then see the situation. I don't know what you think, mate.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, John. I wouldn't do it in January. I'd wait at the end of the season. But, what I'm thinking is, because when you think, I mean, Callum Wilson's 30 now, isn't he? So he's on that wrong side of 30 now, isn't he?
That's the problem.
What you've got, that's what I'm saying, John, you got to look at if you bring a younger striker in from somewhere, from another club somewhere. So you bring a younger striker in, but then he's sitting on the bench. Like, say, for instance, you bring let's just say Goncalo Ramos from Benfica. Okay.
Yeah.
You bring him in, but he would eventually be that replacement for Callum Wilson. Do you see what I mean, John?
I do.
And obviously, I know Ryan's put on there, winger loan or buy should be priority in January. Question for you, Ryan, because I think you've only just come on the show now because you probably haven't seen earlier on. Now, I did do stats on Miggy Almiron, and under Rafa, he played on the left as a left winger. Do you think, Ryan, and leave your comments in the chat as well, Ryan, but do you think, Ryan, that if Eddie Howe switched him now and played Miggy on the left, do you think he could save us £40 million on the left winger? Because I think Miggy would do a great job on the left, but he just needs to give that chance. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm sure you'll come with an answer before you jump on Paul's channel, sort of thing. So if he's there, I'm sure he's there. There you go, Ryan. There's your opportunity, mate. Because Todd's got a question for you, and he's waiting for your answer, mate. Can Newcastle sign loan players? If so, why not a DM and a right midfield to help out? I have to agree, Alan, because you need a DM midfielder creativity to help out Bruno and Joe. Do you know what I mean? So, do
you know who I would have, John? Sorry, do you know who? In January, if we can bring a defensive midfielder in, right? There's two that I've got in mind, John. Right? One of them is Alvarez from Ajax.
Yeah. Ajax.
But whether they're wanting to sell or not. If not, Cornet from Cornet from Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
21-year-old, £30 million would secure his signature, and he's got years in him. So he's nowhere near his peak yet, but he's a terrific passer of the ball. He absolutely destroyed Leipzig last season.
Yeah.
And this kid's only going to get better. And he's going to get better and better and better. And it's like going down the youth side, because every player we're buying in is young players. If you look at them, John, Botman, 22, So, Isak, 22. So we're bringing younger players in. Project Youth, as I've always called it, John.
Project Youth.
So I would like to see, so if we brought someone like Manu Corny in, he could be the answer in defensive midfield. And like I say, he's a terrific passer of the ball. So, yeah, definitely, I would like to see that happen.
Yeah. Young lad, Project Youth. That's what I call it as well. That's a good shout, Tony. That's a brilliant shout, by the way. We check him out on that. I think it could work, Tony, especially since we know ASM's argues more creative and less selfish on the right-hand side. Remember that assist against West Ham that he gave Wilson was on the right. Yes, that was last season, I believe. Lovely cross.
Absolutely.
Lovely cross. First game of the season as well. We got beat, by the way, still, but brilliant answer, Ryan. Brilliant answer.
Yeah, I totally agree, Ryan. Absolutely, because I've always argued for the case, Ryan, that ESM should play on the right with Trippier, because I think he would be better on the right anyway. And, but at the end of the day, Eddie Howe picks the team and decides where players play. But, it's a shame, because I'd like to see Miggy given a chance on the left.
Without a doubt. But things can change. Things can change very, very quickly and in football. So we're going to wrap up there, guys, and in the chat, and Tony as well. We're going to be back for the fan forum tomorrow at around 8 o'clock, because Chippers just wants to know. I'm going to reply back to him, yes, we're doing it. And John, I'm trying to come on the fan forum. I'm going to be busy tonight. I will come on Paul's show very, very soon. And I just got to go to bed early tonight. It's around 9 o'clock. It's not an excuse. I love coming on Post Channel. I love to wind them up. I love to keep it happy. And you know what? If I ever see my kiss his forehead, do you know what I mean? I tell you what, he loved to get us one day. He'd love to catch us one day, but he's just not quick enough. He's not quick enough. You know what I mean? But there you go. He's not quick enough for us at all whatsoever. But I'll grab him somewhere, and he knows it. Guys, thanks so much for watching this, and see you guys tomorrow to our review backstage. And if you like the video, you know exactly what to do. And I'll have coffee by you, Foxy. Great show, guys. Take care to you, my guy. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Until then, it's goodbye for now, and have a fantastic day.